New York City, towering skyscrapers, bustling streets, a jungle of glass and concrete. High above the city, a lone figure clings to a wall in the dead of night. We don't see his face yet, only a silhouette against the moon. In that tense silence, you can hear your own heartbeat. Suddenly, a web shoots out. The figure swings into the light, a flash of red and blue. Spider-Man. A name whispered in alleyways and cheered from rooftops. But who is Spider-Man? A hero in a mask, yes, but behind the mask, an ordinary person with extraordinary burdens. This is not just one story, but many. Across universes and mediums, different young heroes share the name Spider-Man. Each of them has felt the thrill of swinging between skyscrapers and the pain of sacrifice. Each has faced down villains that push them to their limits. Tonight, we weave one web from all those threads, the complete cinematic story of Spider-Man, from humble beginnings to epic team-ups, from animated dimensions to video game adventures. We follow every twist of the Spider's journey. Different heroes, different worlds, but one timeless legend. Our tale begins, as many legends do, with a single chance encounter and a bite that changed a life forever. In one universe, it all starts in Queens, New York. Meet Peter Parker, a shy, nerdy high schooler with a heart of gold. Peter lives with his Aunt May and Uncle Ben, struggling with the everyday trials of being an awkward teenager. He's smart but unsure of himself, in love from afar with the girl next door, Mary Jane Watson, and bullied by Flash Thompson. Life isn't easy, but it's about to get a lot more complicated. On a fateful school trip to a genetics lab, a genetically engineered spider escapes its glass case. Peter, ever curious, snaps a photo, and the spider silently descends. It bites him on the hand. Peter winces. He doesn't know it yet, but radioactive venom now courses through his veins. That night, feverish and trembling, Peter collapses in his bedroom. His DNA is rewriting itself. By morning, he awakens, changed. He's stronger, faster, his senses sharpened. He can cling to walls and ceilings. What's happening to me? He wonders aloud, astonished as he scales his bedroom wall. Testing his hands, he accidentally shoots a strand of web-like fluid from his wrist. Every hero has an awakening. Peter's is a rush of newfound power. We see him leaping between rooftops for the first time, laughter on his lips as the wind whooshes past. This quiet kid can suddenly do amazing things, literally amazing. But Peter is still a teenager with typical teenage dreams. He eyes a flashy car, thinking impressing Mary Jane is now within reach. He enters an underground wrestling match as the masked Spider-Man to win some cash. In a makeshift costume, he steps into a ring with a towering opponent. Despite jeers from the crowd, Peter wins in spectacular fashion using his agility and strength. For a moment, he revels in victory. However, when the shady promoter cheats him of his winnings, anger flares. Moments later, that same promoter is robbed. Peter has a chance to stop the thief. All it would take is a single move. But still stinging from being swindled, he lets the robber escape. It's a brief act of teenage defiance that will haunt him forever. That night, Peter finds police lights flashing outside his home. He pushes through the gathering crowd, only to find Uncle Ben lying on the pavement, shot and dying. Ben's eyes find Peter's, and with his last strained breaths, he tries to speak. Peter holds his uncle's hand as it grows limp, his heart shattering. A hot surge of rage and guilt propels Peter after the carjacker responsible. Donning his mask, he chases the killer through the city and corners him in an abandoned warehouse. The man turns, and in the dim light, Peter sees the face of the thief. He let go. It's the same robber. Horror and guilt crash over Peter. In a scuffle, the man trips and falls out a window to his death. Peter stands on that ledge in silence as sirens wail in the distance, realizing the cruel truth. If he had acted earlier, Uncle Ben would still be alive. In that moment, Peter Parker understands the weight of his gift. His uncle's lesson echoes in his mind. With great power comes great responsibility. It's a lesson written in pain and loss. Under a cold moon, Peter weeps, vowing to never turn away when he could act, vowing to use his powers for good, no matter the cost. Days turn to weeks. Peter crafts a proper red and blue suit and mask, embracing the mantle of Spider-Man fully. New York meets its masked hero, a web-slinging crime fighter leaping from skyscrapers to protect the innocent. The city buzzes with talk of this mysterious Spider-Man. Some call him a menace, fueled by the fiery newspaper editor J. Jonah Jameson's headlines. But to ordinary people, he's a savior. Yet, just as Peter begins to find his footing as a hero, a new threat emerges. Across town at Oscorp Industries, a brilliant but desperate man conducts a dangerous experiment. This is Norman Osborn, wealthy scientist and father to Peter's best friend, Harry Osborn. Norman tests a super soldier serum on himself after his funding is threatened. The result? An explosion, and Norman transforms, his mind fractured by a sinister new persona. The Green Goblin is born. The Green Goblin, masked in a monstrous grin and riding a high-tech glider, unleashes terror on the city. He attacks a gala, bombs cratering the walls, and Spider-Man leaps in to confront this mysterious foe. Their first clash is ferocious. Goblin's maniacal laughter fills the air as pumpkin bombs explode, and Spider-Man barely saves a group of civilians from the fiery blasts. The rivalry between Spider-Man and the Green Goblin escalates. Goblin, determined to corrupt or kill the young hero, discovers Peter's identity over a tense Thanksgiving dinner when a telltale cut on Peter's arm matches a wound he gave Spider-Man. Now Norman knows. The boy dining with his son and the girl next door is the very enemy he's vowed to destroy. One fateful night, Goblin strikes at Peter's heart. He sets a trap on the Queensboro Bridge. Spider-Man arrives to a scene of horror. The Green Goblin has Mary Jane in one hand and a tram car full of screaming schoolchildren in the other, dangling both over the roaring East River. "Choose, Spider-Man!" the Goblin taunts, his voice dripping with cruelty. In that heartbeat, Peter faces an impossible choice: the woman he loves or a crowd of innocent kids. Spider-Man refuses to accept losing either. With split-second reflexes, he leaps. Cue heroic music. Webs shoot out. One line catches the falling tram car, the other snags Mary Jane. Straining every muscle, Peter manages to slow their plummet. On the bridge above, ordinary New Yorkers, people Spider-Man has saved before, rally to help. They throw debris at Goblin, buying Peter precious seconds. Inch by agonizing inch, Spider-Man lifts both MJ and the children to safety. But Goblin is not finished. Enraged, he drags Peter into a final showdown in a crumbling, abandoned building. Bricks and metal beams crash as Goblin and Spider-Man trade blows. Goblin's superhuman strength versus Peter's agility and sheer will. The villain gains the upper hand and viciously beats Peter down, taunting him. "No one to save you now." Yet Peter refuses to give up. Summoning the image of Uncle Ben, of Aunt May, of Mary Jane's face, he finds strength. In a swift move, he flips the tables and overpowers the Goblin. In defeat, Norman's menacing mask lifts, revealing a flicker of his true self. "Peter, it's me," he pleads, pretending to be the fatherly figure. Peter hesitates, his good heart faltering at striking his best friend's dad. But that compassion becomes danger. At that moment, Norman secretly triggers his glider to impale Peter from behind. Spider-Man's sixth sense blares. He flips away just as the glider's blades strike. Norman Osborn is impaled by his own treacherous weapon. Peter cradles Norman in his final moments. Norman, lucid for an instant, begs Peter not to tell Harry. Then he dies, leaving Peter with yet another tragic secret. He brings Norman's body home, only for Harry Osborn to walk in on the horrific sight: Spider-Man standing over Harry's dead father. Harry, grief-stricken and enraged, pulls a gun, but Spider-Man flees into the night, burdened by a vow to never reveal Norman's twisted alter ego to his best friend. Norman Osborn is given a somber funeral. Harry swears revenge on Spider-Man, believing him a murderer. Mary Jane, safe but shaken, professes her love to Peter at the funeral, grateful to the man who has been her friend and protector. Peter cares for her more than anything, but with Uncle Ben's lesson heavy on his heart, he understands that being Spider-Man means making sacrifices. He chooses duty over love, gently pushing MJ away. As he walks off, he recalls Ben's words and accepts truly the price of being a hero. Time passes. Peter continues his double life, delivering pizzas by day, capturing criminals by night. But being Spider-Man is wearing him down. By the time we catch up with him again, the strain of balancing college classes, odd jobs, and crime fighting is taking a toll. Fast forward 2 years. Peter's now in college, still living in a tiny apartment and just barely scraping by. He's late, as usual, trying to deliver pizzas before time runs out. Everything in his life is in constant motion, and he's always one step away from disaster. As Spider-Man, he's adored by the city for his heroics. But as Peter Parker, he's failing, missing classes, losing jobs, and drifting apart from those he loves. Mary Jane is pursuing her acting dreams and dating someone else. Aunt May struggles financially, facing foreclosure, and Peter can't help her without revealing his secret. And Harry Osborn, now head of Oscorp's research, is still consumed by anger at Spider-Man, unaware his hated foe is his own best friend. Peter finds hope and mentorship in a brilliant scientist, Dr. Otto Octavius, who becomes a father figure he can talk science with. Octavius is developing a revolutionary fusion reactor to provide infinite energy using a set of advanced robotic arms powered by an AI to handle the experiment. Peter admires Otto's genius and compassion. Finally, it seems Peter has someone who understands balancing great dreams and responsibility. But during a demonstration of the reactor, with Peter, Harry, and even Mary Jane watching, something goes terribly wrong. The fusion reaction destabilizes. Otto refuses to shut it down, desperate to showcase his life's work. The reactor goes critical, exploding in a burst of light. Mary Jane is thrown by the blast. Peter, in a split second, changes to Spider-Man and swings in to save her and others from falling debris. The chaos ends with Otto's reactor destroyed, his wife tragically killed by flying glass, and the doctor himself unconscious, the fused harness of mechanical arms grafted to his spine. The disaster changes Otto forever. Waking up in a hospital, Octavius's worst dreams are realized. The AI in his mechanical arms has overridden the inhibitor chip that kept them under control. Whispering into his mind, these tentacle-like arms fuel Otto's grief and anger, twisting him toward darkness. He becomes Dr. Octopus, a once kind man now driven insane by the loss of his wife and his dream. He blames interference for his failure, interference by none other than Spider-Man in his mind, since Peter was there and Oscorp had cut funding. Doc Ock goes on a rampage to rebuild his experiment, robbing banks for funds and materials. In one thrilling sequence, as his metal arms rip open a vault, Spider-Man intervenes. Peter finds himself face to face with his mentor-turned-monster. They clash violently, Ock hurling giant sacks of coins and tearing up the bank's floor, Spider-Man dodging and webbing frantically to protect civilians. Aunt May, who's with Peter during the bank visit, ends up in Ock's clutches during the fight. Spider-Man fights with renewed determination, managing to save May from a deadly drop at the last second, But Doc Ock escapes, leaving Peter shaken. This life-or-death struggle only adds to Peter's internal turmoil. Being Spider-Man has cost him so much. His best friend's trust, any chance with Mary Jane, even a normal life with Aunt May. The pressure mounts and Peter begins to falter. Literally, his powers suddenly start to fail him whenever his confidence cracks. One night, as he swings between buildings, his web suddenly fizzles out. He freefalls, barely catching himself on a fire escape. Later, he tries to cling to a wall and slides right off. It's as if his body is rejecting Spider-Man. Haunted by doubts, Peter consults a doctor in disguise, and even in a vision confides in the memory of Uncle Ben. He faces a painful question. Can Peter Parker have a life of his own, or is Spider-Man all he is? Overwhelmed, Peter chooses to hang up his suit. In a poignant scene in an alleyway, he dumps his Spider-Man costume in a trash can and walks away. Peter Parker once more and Spider-Man no more. At first, life without Spider-Man seems liberating. Peter focuses on his studies, shows up on time, even attends Mary Jane's play. Something he could never do before. We see him smiling genuinely, a weight lifted off his shoulders. But the absence of Spider-Man has consequences. Crime rises, people get hurt. One night, Peter walks by a burning apartment building. Without webs or costume, he still rushes in to help. He saves a little girl, but tragically learns someone else was lost in the flames because he couldn't reach them in time. Peter realizes that Spider-Man is needed. His personal happiness means little if people suffer when he could have acted. As Peter grapples with his identity, Doc Ock returns, more dangerous than ever. Harry Osborn, blinded by vengeance, strikes a deal with Ock. Bring Spider-Man to me and I'll give you the rare element you need for your reactor. To flush Spider-Man out, Ock finds Peter, whom he believes is just a photographer close to Spider-Man, and attacks him at a cafe where Peter is finally trying to reconnect with Mary Jane. In one of the trilogy's most iconic sequences, Peter's reflexes save both him and MJ as he flips over the hurtling car. Realizing Spider-Man must be near, Doc Ock seizes Mary Jane with a metal tentacle and scales a building, growling a message. "Tell Spider-Man to meet me or she dies." Mary Jane's eyes widen with fear as she is taken hostage, and Peter stands there, heart pounding. His love is in peril because Spider-Man is missing. Peter knows what he must do. He retrieves his discarded costume, thanks to a trash-diving Daily Bugle employee who had found it, and becomes Spider-Man once more. Reborn with renewed resolve, he swings into action for the biggest battle of his life. Doc Ock has restarted his dangerous fusion experiment on the waterfront, and Mary Jane is trapped high on a web of steel girders as the reactor begins to draw in metal objects, creating a growing deadly sun in the heart of the city. But first, Spider-Man must get there, and Harry Osborn, armed with a vendetta, stands in his way. Harry, having discovered Peter's secret while delivering the recovered Spider-Man suit, is stunned that his friend is the man he blames for his father's death. He reluctantly gives Peter the location of Ock's lair, but demands Spider-Man come back to face him after. The friendship between Peter and Harry is crumbling under the weight of lies and vengeance. Now nothing stands between Spider-Man and his mission. What follows is an unforgettable train sequence. Doc Ock, unwilling to let Spider-Man interfere, ambushes him atop an elevated train speeding through Manhattan. A dazzling fight ensues on the moving train. Ock hurls passengers and rips out brakes. Spider-Man frantically webs them back and battles Ock with acrobatic fury. When Ock sabotages the train controls and leaps away, Spider-Man is left with a heart-stopping dilemma, a train full of people barreling toward disaster. He braces himself at the front of the train, shooting dozens of webs to buildings along the track, straining with every ounce of strength to slow it. Muscles quivering, suit tearing under pressure, Peter gives a final mighty yell, and the train screeches to a stop inches from the track's end. Exhausted, he collapses, nearly falling off the edge, but the passengers he saved catch him. In a tender moment, they lift the unmasked hero into the car, seeing his face. Just a kid, not much older than some of them. They vow to keep his identity secret. This is the hero they believe in. Doc Ock returns, striking a weakened Spider-Man and finally capturing him for delivery to Harry. Bound and unconscious, Peter is brought to Harry's mansion. Harry, trembling with rage and conflict, unmasks Spider-Man and his world shatters. His best friend killed his father. Peter pleads for Harry to see the truth. There are bigger things at stake. Mary Jane will die if he doesn't help. Torn between hatred and the love he once had for Peter and MJ, Harry lets Spider-Man go, refusing to believe Peter's claims about Norman but unable to stand in his way. Spider-Man arrives at the waterfront lab as the fusion reactor grows out of control, a miniature sun threatening to consume the city. Doc Ock and Spider-Man clash one last time, their fight causing the building to crumble around them. Amidst sparking machinery and swirling energy, Spider-Man cries out, "You're going to kill everyone. This isn't the way, Doc." In the heat of battle, his mask is torn off. Otto grabs Spider-Man by the throat, ready to crush him, until Peter, desperate, calls him by name. "Otto, please." Seeing the face of Peter Parker, Otto is shaken from his madness. The young man he befriended, who admired him, stands before him not as an enemy, but as a concerned friend. Peter's voice is earnest, pleading, "We must stop this." It's not too late. For a brief moment, Otto's true self resurfaces. Horrified by what he's done, he agrees to help. Spider-Man entrusts Mary Jane's safety to himself first. He frees her from the web of chains and gently swings her to stable ground. In that rescue, Mary Jane sees clearly for the first time who Spider-Man is, her lifelong friend, Peter. It's a moment of shock and undeniable truth between them. Meanwhile, with time almost gone, Spider-Man tries to shut down the reactor, but it's self-sustaining, a growing inferno. Otto knows what must be done, to drown it in the river. Summoning a last act of heroism, he exerts control over his mechanical arms and refuses to let their AI win. "I will not die a monster," he says quietly, meeting Peter's eyes with regret. Then Otto uses his great metal arms to collapse the floor, sending the reactor and himself plunging into the deep waters of the Hudson below. The miniature sun implodes underwater, sparing the city. Doc Ock disappears beneath the waves, redeeming himself in his final act. With the danger over, Peter stands unmasked with Mary Jane. There are no more secrets between them. Mary Jane gently touches his bruised face. All the times Peter pushed her away suddenly make sense, and though a part of Peter fears what comes next, he finally lets his two worlds converge, no longer willing to sacrifice everything he cares about. They return to shore only to confront a heartbroken Harry. In his mansion, Harry has discovered his father's Green Goblin lair, the truth that Norman was the villain all along. Fueled by whiskey and sorrow, Harry is a confused mix of anger at Peter and horror at his father's legacy. When Peter tries to explain, Harry, shocked and furious, orders him to leave. Peter goes, but the friendship they once had seems irrevocably damaged. Sometime later, Mary Jane stands in her wedding dress. She's supposed to marry someone else today, yet her heart isn't in it. In a dramatic decision, she runs from the ceremony, following her heart to Peter's tiny apartment. There, she finds him, lonely and resigned. MJ tells Peter she knows the risks. She's made her choice. "Isn't it about time somebody saved you?" she says softly. They embrace at last, love triumphant. But even in this moment of joy, the call of duty arises. Distant sirens. Peter gives her a look. He has to go. Mary Jane, tears in her eyes but a smile on her face, nods. She understands now. As Spider-Man swings into the sunset, Mary Jane watches from the window, both hopeful and fearful for their future. Peter's life is finally looking up. He's with Mary Jane, and New York seems to be firmly in his corner. Spider-Man has become a symbol of hope. Even the city's police applaud him. As he swings through Manhattan to celebrate another day saved, Peter basks in the admiration, a feeling he's never really known. For once, he allows himself a moment of pride, but pride comes before the fall, and fall Peter shall. The shadows of Peter's past are about to creep back in. Harry Osborn, stewing in grief and betrayal, has taken up his father's mantle. Using Norman's goblin technology and serum, he becomes the new Goblin. Late one night, Harry ambushes Peter, attacking with razor bats and explosives on a skyboard. A high-speed aerial duel through the alleys ensues. Peter, caught off guard and without his costume at first, fights in street clothes. They weave between buildings in a blur of explosions and web lines. Peter tries to reason with Harry, but Harry's rage only fuels his assault. The chase ends in a brutal clash that leaves Harry injured and unconscious, suffering from partial amnesia. He wakes in a hospital with no memory of his vendetta, no memory of Peter's secret. For now, the best friends are friends again, albeit under false peace. Even as one threat pauses, another emerges from the stars. A meteor streaks across the night sky, landing quietly in Central Park. From it oozes an alien black goo, a symbiote that latches onto Peter's moped unnoticed, following him like a predator stalking its prey. Meanwhile, Peter and MJ's relationship is strained. Mary Jane's career is stumbling with bad reviews, while Peter, oblivious, is absorbed in Spider-Man's success. He even shares an upside-down kiss with Gwen Stacy, a model and classmate, during a public celebration, a moment meant to please the crowd but which deeply hurts MJ. Tension brews between them. Not far away, another man's life is taking a turn that will entangle with Peter's fate. Flint Marko, an escaped convict desperate to help his sick daughter, stumbles into a particle physics testing site while evading police. In a whirl of experimental science gone wrong, his body disintegrates into a mound of sand. Moments later, that sand shifts and rises, taking human shape. Marko has become Sandman, able to shapeshift into sand at will. Confused and staggering, he learns to form and reform his body from granules, a true marvel and curse of science. When Peter learns that Flint Marko is the one truly responsible for Uncle Ben's death, a shocking police update reveals the man Peter confronted years ago was only an accomplice. His world tilts. Uncle Ben's killer is still out there. A dark, long-buried anger resurfaces in Peter. Guilt intertwines with fury. He can barely hold it back. One night, the alien symbiote finally finds its host. Drawn by Peter's turmoil, the black goo slips into Peter's apartment and attaches to him while he sleeps in his Spider-Man suit. Peter wakes from a nightmare to find himself hanging upside down on his building, clad now in a sleek black suit. His traditional red and blue is gone. In its place, a new Spider-Man is born, with enhanced powers, but at a cost. At first, Peter is exhilarated by the suit's effects. His strength and agility are boosted. He feels invincible, fearless. He bounds through the city in the black suit, effortlessly stopping criminals with a ferocity that surprises even him. His anger, once held in check, seems to fuel this newfound power. The shy, polite Peter begins to recede, replaced by someone harder, more arrogant. He hunts down Sandman through the subway tunnels. In a gritty, vicious showdown, Spider-Man unleashes the full fury of the black suit. Water rushes through broken pipes as they brawl underground. Peter finds Sandman vulnerable to water. He drenches Flint, who desperately tries to reform his collapsing sand body. Showing little mercy, Spider-Man slams him against a moving subway train and into a huge water pipe. A tidal wave of water dissolves Sandman into mud. seemingly killing him. Peter stands over the muddy remnants, breathing hard, satisfaction and regret mingling within him. For the first time, Spider-Man willingly went to a lethal extreme. Peter grimly thinks the man who killed Uncle Ben is gone for good, and he feels a dark relief. Above ground, this darker Peter Parker also starts lashing out in his personal life. He becomes cocky, even aggressive. He openly competes with a new rival photographer, Eddie Brock, at the Daily Bugle, going so far as to humiliate him by proving Eddie's photo of Spider-Man is a fraud. He flaunts his suave confidence to try and make Mary Jane jealous after a breakup, even bringing Gwen Stacy to the jazz club where MJ works and performing a showy dance before inadvertently hurting MJ. This isn't the Peter we know. This is someone under the influence of the symbiote's anger and Peter's own worst impulses. But power without control comes with a heavy price. As Peter's arrogance peaks, he finally catches a glimpse of the monster he's becoming. Horrified by how he struck MJ in a brief moment of rage, while wearing the black suit, Peter realizes the suit's corrupting influence. He flees, desperate to rid himself of it. On a dark, stormy night, Peter races to the top of a church bell tower, struggling with the clinging black goo that refuses to let go. The giant church bell begins to ring, its sound waves agonizing to the alien parasite. The symbiote writhes and weakens, peeling off Peter, who uses the ringing bell's vibrations to finally rip the black suit from his skin. Peter stumbles free from its grasp, and the black mass, screeching, falls to the church below, right onto Eddie Brock, who just happens to be there praying for vengeance against Peter. In a horrific twist of fate, the symbiote finds a new host in Eddie. It envelops him, and Eddie Brock's simmering hatred for Peter Parker morphs into something truly sinister. Rising from the shadows, fanged maw and white spider emblem on his chest, Venom is born, a dark mirror of Spider-Man with all of Peter's powers but driven by malice and revenge. Venom seeks an alliance with the one man who loathes Spider-Man as much as he does. Flint Marko, the Sandman, who survived, not dead but dispersed and slowly regenerating in a muddy sewer. Brock finds Marko and persuades him to join forces, exploiting Flint's desire to make things right for his daughter and his resentment toward Spider-Man. It isn't long before Mary Jane becomes the bait for Spider-Man once again. Venom and Sandman kidnap MJ, trapping her in a taxi suspended high above a construction site in a massive web of black webbing. The city is thrust into panic as news helicopters broadcast Spider-Man's love held hostage above the skyline, two deadly villains lying in wait. Peter, now in his classic red and blue suit, knows he can't take on both enemies alone. In an act of humility and growth, he turns to the one person who might help, Harry Osborn. He pleads with Harry, explaining that Spider-Man never killed Norman, that the Green Goblin was Norman's own doing. Harry, scarred emotionally and physically, initially refuses, still broken by perceived betrayal. But as Peter leaves, Harry's loyal butler reveals the truth. He tended Norman's wounds, and it was the Goblin's own glider that killed him, not Spider-Man. With the veil lifted, Harry faces a choice: cling to hate or help save the friend he once loved. At the construction site, night falls. Spider-Man arrives to a scene of nightmares. High above, Mary Jane's cab dangles precariously on webbing. Sandman rises as a giant from piles of sand, and Venom lurks unseen, hunting Spider-Man through the steel beams. Peter fights with everything he has, but he's soon overwhelmed. Sandman's massive fists pummel him. Venom's tendrils ensnare him. The relentless double team drives Spider-Man to the brink of defeat. At the last moment, a streak of skyboard fire cuts through the darkness. Harry has arrived, donning his new Goblin gear to fight alongside Peter. In an epic tag team battle, former friends now united, they take on the villains. Harry's bombs and blades shatter Sandman's sandy form, while Peter confronts Venom with strategic wit, exploiting the creature's weakness to sound by clanging metal pipes together. Mary Jane's cab starts to fall, but Harry swoops in on his glider, catching the cab with MJ inside and gently lowering it to a stable ledge. The rescue costs him. A razor-sharp tendril from Venom lashes out, wounding Harry, but he fights on, injured yet determined. Together, Spider-Man and Harry manage to disable Sandman and isolate Venom. Peter fights Eddie within the black goo, trying to reach the man inside the monster. In a crucial moment, Peter assembles a ring of steel pipes and slams them, creating a symphony of vibrations. The sonic waves weaken the symbiote, causing it to peel off Eddie in shrieks. Peter then hurls a pumpkin bomb, tossed to him by a wounded Harry, into the heart of the writhing alien mass. At the very last second, a desperate Eddie, refusing to lose the power the symbiote gives him, leaps back toward it. The bomb explodes. In a flash of light, Venom and Eddie are incinerated together, gone in an instant. The danger passes as silence falls over the construction site, broken only by the crackle of small fires. But victory comes with a heavy price. Harry Osborn lies crumpled, mortally wounded, by a fatal strike Venom dealt when Peter was distracted. Peter and Mary Jane rush to Harry's side. In this heartbreaking moment, old friends reconcile. Harry, gasping, says he's glad he got to help Peter in the end, that they're best friends. Peter and MJ, tears flowing, assure him they are. With the sun just beginning to rise over the ruins, Harry Osborn dies in Peter's arms, redeeming his family's name with his sacrifice. In the aftermath, Flint Marko, the Sandman, reforms one last time to approach Spider-Man. The fight has left him exhausted and defeated, but instead of anger, Flint speaks with remorse. He explains how Uncle Ben's death was an accident born of desperation. We see in Flint a broken man who never intended to pull the trigger, who has been haunted by that night ever since. Peter, who has endured so much loss and pain, listens, and in a powerful act of grace, he forgives Flint Marko. The Sandman, relieved of his burden, drifts away on the breeze, dissolving into the morning light, free in his own way. In the days that follow, Mary Jane and Peter attend Harry's funeral together, standing by his grave with Aunt May. The weight of everything they've gone through hangs between them. Mary Jane had witnessed Peter's darkness under the symbiote's influence, and both had nearly lost each other multiple times. There's no easy fix for the hurt and trauma. Sometime later, in the quiet hush of the jazz club, where Mary Jane once sang, Peter arrives. He reaches out his hand to her. MJ, eyes full of love and sorrow, takes it. They slow dance, holding each other close, finding solace in the simple act of being together. No words are needed. In their embrace, there is forgiveness and understanding. Though scars remain, Peter knows he doesn't have to face his future alone. For now, they have each other. Thus ends the tale of one Spider-Man's journey through innocence, love, darkness, and redemption. But our saga is far from over. In another time, another place, the Spider-Man legend is reborn. In another universe, the clock rewinds and the tale begins anew. Different faces, different challenges, but the heart of the hero remains the same. In this world, Peter Parker is a lanky teenager with a restless spirit and a troubled past. Years ago, his parents packed in a hurry one night, dropping young Peter off with Uncle Ben and Aunt May, then vanished, leaving only unanswered questions. Now in high school, Peter, played by Andrew Garfield, is smart and impulsive, feeling out of place and longing to understand where he came from. He's drawn to a brilliant classmate, Gwen Stacy, a warm, confident girl who returns his shy smiles. One day, Peter discovers a tattered briefcase that belonged to his father, leading him to Oscorp, the mega corporation where his father worked. Pretending to be an intern, Peter sneaks into a lab run by Dr. Kurt Connors, a one-armed scientist researching cross-species genetics, the science his father was part of. In a room filled with genetically modified spiders, destiny strikes. A spider escapes onto Peter's shoulder and bites him. Peter jolts in pain before security escorts him out. The bite is more than it seems. Soon after, on the subway ride home, Peter's senses electrify. He accidentally sticks to the ceiling and, in a chaotic comic moment, overpowers bullies without knowing his own strength. Peter's transformation accelerates. At home, he watches in amazement as tiny barbs emerge from his fingertips, letting him cling to surfaces. He's suddenly catching flying objects with reflexes he never had. This Peter is exhilarated, practicing skateboarding stunts that now launch him high into the air, testing the limits of his agility. But with no mentor to guide him, he's also reckless. After a heated argument with Uncle Ben, where Peter stormed out over a trivial, forgotten errand, tragedy finds him. That night, Uncle Ben is shot by a thief on the street, a thief Peter might have stopped earlier at a convenience store had he not been selfishly indifferent. The loss of Uncle Ben hits Peter like a freight train of guilt. As Ben's lifeless hand falls from Peter's grasp, the lesson is seared into Peter's soul. Responsibility. Though this version of Uncle Ben never uttered the famous phrase, its truth burns in Peter's heart. We see Peter, raw with grief, fashion a mask and seek vengeance. He hunts criminals night after night, but finds no satisfaction and little trace of Ben's killer. It's Gwen who quietly helps Peter find a higher purpose. She sees the good in him and inspires him to do more than just avenge, to protect. Embracing his uncle's legacy of kindness, Peter refocuses. He designs new gear, mechanical web shooters that fire synthetic web fluid of his own formulation. He crafts a sleek new suit, a redesign of the Spider-Man image with bold amber eyes and darker blue tones. Under the city's neon glow, a new Spider-Man swings out for the first time, moving with a freer, more acrobatic style. He's rough around the edges but learning fast, stopping car thieves and rescuing strangers, all while joyfully web-zipping between skyscrapers. New York begins to hear rumors of a masked vigilante. As Peter thrives as Spider-Man, a greater threat begins to slither in the shadows. Dr. Kurt Connors, pressured by Oscorp and desperate to regrow his missing arm, tests an experimental lizard DNA serum on himself. At first, it seems a miraculous success. His arm regenerates. But the victory is short-lived. The serum has a terrifying side effect. It transforms Connors into a monstrous, hulking lizard with reptilian strength and instincts. His mind oscillates between human intellect and cold-blooded fury. Horrified by what he's become, Connors flees into New York's sewer system, and soon reports emerge of a scaled creature stalking the underground. Spider-Man's path collides with the lizard's one night on a bridge. Cars are tossed like toys as the lizard, half-maddened, attacks Oscorp associates he blames for his plight. Spider-Man arrives amid screams and honking horns. In a harrowing sequence, he saves a young boy from a burning car, dangling off the bridge, a heroic act that earns the trust of the boy's father and signals Spider-Man's true arrival as a protector. Face to face with the lizard, Spider-Man is initially outmatched by the creature's raw power and regenerative abilities. The lizard roars and vanishes into the dark river below, leaving Peter shaken and resolved to cure this nightmare. Meanwhile, Peter grows closer to Gwen Stacy. He's drawn to her intelligence and bravery, and she to his warmth and gentle spirit. One rainy night, on the rooftop of Gwen's apartment, Peter reveals his face to her, sharing the burden of his secret. They kiss under the glow of city lights, a beacon of hope in the storm around them. But Gwen's father, Captain George Stacy of the NYPD, is less enamored with Spider-Man. To him, the masked vigilante is a menace, interfering in police work. A citywide manhunt for Spider-Man begins just as the Lizard's attacks intensify. Connor's fractured mind hatches a twisted plan. If he can't be human again, he will make everyone like him. He concocts a chemical cloud that, when released from Oscorp's tower, will infect all of New York with lizard DNA. The final confrontation takes place atop Oscorp's skyscraper. Amid roaring winds and flashing lightning, Spider-Man battles the lizard to stop the dispersal device. Gwen, courageous and resourceful, defies danger by sneaking into Oscorp's labs below to create an antidote. As the device's timer counts down, Spider-Man is wounded, slashed by razor claws, but he fights on, webbing the lizard's snout and desperately trying to pull the device away. The lizard's tail knocks him down, and all seems lost until an unexpected ally intervenes. Captain Stacy arrives by helicopter, shotgun in hand, to protect both his daughter and the city. In a fierce team effort, Captain Stacy blasts the lizard, momentarily slowing the creature, while Spider-Man manages to swap the chemical agent with Gwen's antidote. The device fires, releasing a cure across the city's skies instead of Connor's mutation serum. Enraged, the lizard lashes out, mortally wounding Captain Stacy in the struggle. Spider-Man finally injects Connors with the antidote at close range, and the lizard collapses, shrinking and contorting back into the trembling human form of Dr. Connors. The immediate threat is over, but at a great cost. Peter rushes to Captain Stacy's side. The dying officer now knows Spider-Man's identity and, with fading strength, makes Peter promise to keep Gwen safe by staying away. He's seen the danger that follows Spider-Man and wants his daughter protected from it. Gwen arrives just in time to hear her father's last whispered words of love. He dies in her arms as the red and blue lights of NYPD vehicles reflect off Spider-Man's mask. Peter stands over Captain Stacy's body, guilt and grief flooding him once more. In the aftermath, Peter honors his promise to the fallen captain, distancing himself from Gwen despite their love. At Captain Stacy's funeral, Gwen confronts Peter, sensing the reason for his cold withdrawal. They share a painful look, an understanding that his vow to her father keeps them apart. Autumn turns to winter. New York faces a new crisis in the form of a mechanized criminal called the Rhino rampaging through the streets in a metal suit. The city needs Spider-Man. At the last minute, Peter realizes that denying his love for Gwen is not what Captain Stacy truly wanted. He simply wanted her safe. Remembering Gwen's own words about choosing hope and love over fear, Peter has a change of heart. In a stirring ending, Spider-Man returns just when a terrified young boy in a Spider-Man costume stands bravely before the Rhino, trying to protect people in Spider-Man's absence. The real Spidey steps in front of the child, gently telling him, "I'll take it from here." As Gwen's voice echoes in Peter's memory from her graduation speech about hope, Spider-Man swings into action to fight the Rhino. We freeze on that iconic moment, Spider-Man leaping forward to face danger, a hero reborn from heartbreak, and the screen fades out. The amazing Spider-Man story, for now, remains unfinished, a chapter of courage tinged with tragedy. That Peter Parker learned that even when doing everything right, tragedy can still strike. Yet he continued to choose heroism. His tale would unexpectedly intersect with another in time. But before that convergence, another Spider-Man was already swinging high above the streets of New York, in a world where heroes walked among gods. In a universe of heroes and monsters, where Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor are household names, lives a kid named Peter Parker, now portrayed by Tom Holland. He's a 15-year-old science whiz who quietly dons a homemade suit to fight crime in his neighborhood. No one beyond a few YouTube videos knows that this Spider Guy even exists. No one, that is, until Tony Stark finds him. One day, Peter comes home to find Tony Stark. the legendary Iron Man himself sitting in his living room. The billionaire hero has discovered Peter's secret through online footage of a super-strong kid in pajamas stopping a bus robbery. Tony sees potential in the young hero and recruits him for a special mission. A clash of Avengers unfolding in Germany. Suddenly, Peter is whisked from his queen's bedroom to the colossal stage of an Avengers battle. In an iconic first outing, Spider-Man springs into action on an airport tarmac, snatching Captain America's shield and quipping, "Hey everyone." He's nervous but exhilarated, webbing together seasoned heroes with youthful glee. The battle is brief for him, a test, really, and though he holds his own, Tony sends him back home with a new high-tech spider suit and a promise, "We'll call you." Back in New York, Peter struggles to adjust to normal life after tasting the excitement of the Avengers. He's just a high school sophomore juggling homework by day and patrolling as a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man by night. The upgraded suit Stark gave him comes with gadgets and an AI assistant, making him feel like a junior Iron Man in training. But weeks pass with no call for another Avengers mission. Peter grows impatient. He's hungry to prove himself as more than a local hero. Meanwhile, a new threat looms in the shadows of the city. Adrian Toomes, a salvage contractor bitter at being edged out of cleanup jobs by Stark's government partners, has turned to crime. Salvaging alien tech left from past Avengers battles, he and his crew build advanced weapons and a mechanical winged suit. As the Vulture, Toomes begins hijacking weapon shipments to sell on New York's black market. One night, while on patrol against Tony's instructions, Peter stumbles upon an arms deal and confronts Vulture's crew, leading to a chaotic encounter on the Staten Island ferry. The criminals unleash a powerful weapon that slices the ferry in half. Spider-Man desperately webs the ferry's two sundered halves, straining to hold the massive vessel together and save the panicked passengers. For a moment, it looks like he might just manage, but the weight is too much. At the last second, Iron Man swoops in, using dozens of mini-rockets to brace the ferry and weld it back. Lives are saved, but Tony Stark is furious. He chastises Peter for acting recklessly and in a stern, fatherly moment takes back the fancy suit. "If you're nothing without the suit, then you shouldn't have it." Peter is crushed. He feels he's failed his mentor. Back to his simple homemade hoodie and goggles, he tries to return to being a normal teenager with a heavy heart. He even musters the courage to ask his crush, Liz, to the homecoming dance. Perhaps he thinks he should give up being Spider-Man and focus on Peter Parker for a change. On the night of the dance, a twist of fate strikes. Liz's father answers the door, and it's Adrian Toomes. Peter's blood runs cold, recognizing the face of the Vulture. Toomes also pieces together the truth during the awkward car ride, noticing Peter's nervousness. Behind a friendly dad smile, he threatens Peter. He will give Peter one chance to forget about this Spider-Man business and leave him be. If not, he'll kill everyone Peter cares about. It's an intense, quietly menacing moment as the red stoplight casts a sinister glow on Toomes' face. Peter is faced with a terrible choice: protect his friends by standing down, or stop this criminal once and for all. Duty wins out. Peter apologizes to Liz and leaves her at the dance, dashing off to don his old suit. Aided by his best friend Ned, working as the guy in the chair on a school computer, Peter tracks Toomes to his final heist, stealing a plane full of Avengers weaponry. What follows is a thrilling mid-air showdown. Spider-Man, in a sweatpants-grade costume but all heart and will, intercepts the Vulture as he raids the cargo plane. They fight atop the invisible jet in the night sky. The plane spirals out of control, crash landing on a Coney Island beach in a heap of fire and wreckage. In the fiery aftermath, Spider-Man and Vulture clash one last time amid flaming debris. Peter is beaten down, barely avoiding Vulture's lethal wing strikes. He sees that Toombs's mechanical wings are about to explode from damaged alien power cores. Despite everything, Peter's core of goodness shines through. He tries to save Toombs, shouting for him to stop fighting, to remove the malfunctioning suit. The Vulture, consumed by greed and anger, ignores him until it's too late. The gear explodes, knocking him out. Peter, risking his life, pulls the unconscious Adrian Toombs from the flames and drags him to safety, saving the very man who tried to kill him. When the police arrive, Spider-Man disappears into the night, leaving Liz's father to face justice, and Liz, heartbroken and moving away, never knowing her date was her dad's nemesis. But Peter has earned someone's respect. Tony Stark, impressed by Peter's selflessness and victory, offers him a place among the Avengers, even unveiling an iron spider suit and a room of reporters waiting to meet the newest Avenger. In a moment of maturity beyond his years, Peter declines. He chooses to stay on the ground for now, to learn and grow a bit more as a friendly neighborhood hero. Tony respects the choice. It was partly a test all along, and as Peter leaves, we see Tony shift gears to propose to Pepper Potts instead, turning that press event into a different announcement. Peter returns home to find that Tony secretly gave back the Spider-Man suit. Thrilled, he puts it on, only for Aunt May to walk in, catching him red-handed as Spider-Man before the scene cuts out with her shocked exclamation. Spider-Man's world keeps expanding. Not long after proving himself on his own, Peter swings headlong into a cosmic conflict. A giant flying donut-shaped spaceship appears in the sky over Manhattan, the beginning of the Infinity War. Without hesitation, Peter dons his suit and leaps into action, joining Tony Stark once again, this time to combat an alien threat. He finds himself hurtling into space aboard that Q ship, fighting alongside Iron Man and Doctor Strange on an alien planet called Titan against the cosmic warlord Thanos. In this battle, Peter's courage is unwavering. He even earns Tony's proud dubbing as an Avenger mid-fight. But their valiance isn't enough. Thanos snaps his fingers with the Infinity Gauntlet, and half of all life disintegrates. On Titan's scorched ground, Peter feels strange. He stumbles into Tony's arms, fear in his eyes, and gasps, "Mr. Stark, I don't want to go," before he crumbles to dust. This young Spider-Man, who only wanted to help, becomes a victim of the greatest catastrophe of his time. 5 years pass for the world. In an epic reversal of fate, the Avengers bring everyone back. Peter rematerializes on Titan, unaware of any time lapse, and is soon brought through a portal to the climactic battle on Earth. In Avengers Endgame, Peter swings into the melee of history's biggest superhero fight, instantly webbing back into action. Amid the chaos, he activates instant kill mode on his iron spider suit, plowing through alien hordes to protect the new Infinity Gauntlet. Then, a joyful reunion. Tony Stark pulls him into an embrace mid-battle, a father figure relieved to see his Spider Kid alive. Together they fight until victory is won, though not without a cost. Tony Stark gives his life to defeat Thanos, leaving Peter devastated as he tearfully says goodbye to his mentor at a quiet lakeside funeral. Having already lost Uncle Ben, off-screen in this universe, and now his guide Tony, Peter carries yet another loss in his heart. After the world is saved, we find Peter trying to return to normalcy once more. He's still just a teenager who wants to live, laugh, and love despite the weight of the universe on his shoulders. In Spider-Man Far From Home, we see a weary Peter in need of a break. Mourning Tony and pressured by the world's expectations to be the next Iron Man, he chooses to step away from hero life for a school science trip to Europe. He plans to confess his feelings to MJ, Michelle Jones, his clever and wry classmate, atop the Eiffel Tower, hoping for some teenage normalcy. But even on vacation, trouble finds Spider-Man. In Venice, a monstrous water elemental attacks, and Peter leaps into action, doing what he can to protect his friends while keeping his identity secret. A masquerade made easier by a comically ill-fitting carnival mask he grabs. He's aided by the arrival of a new supposed hero, Quentin Beck, who wields green energy and flies with a cape. Nicknamed Mysterio, Beck claims to be from another Earth, chasing these elemental monsters that destroyed his own family. Peter is awed by this cool new hero, who seems to fill the mentor void Tony left. With some nudging from Nick Fury, or so Peter believes, it's actually Fury's Skrull stand-in. Peter teams up with Mysterio in Prague to battle a towering fire elemental. It's an explosive spectacle, and the two form a brotherly bond. Beck becomes the big brother figure Peter desperately missed, giving sage advice and listening to Peter's anxieties about living up to Iron Man. Feeling overwhelmed by responsibility, Peter makes a well-intentioned but naive choice. He hands over Tony Stark's last gift, a powerful AI system encoded in a pair of glasses called EDITH, to Mysterio, believing Quentin Beck the better hero to wield it. That trust is betrayed. In truth, Beck is a master illusionist, a former Stark Industries employee with a grudge, using advanced holographic drones to fake the elementals and pose as a hero. He wanted EDITH to amplify his fake threats and stage bigger saves, aiming to become the world's greatest hero by creating the world's greatest villain. When Peter discovers this deception in Berlin, Mysterio traps him in a mind-bending illusion. The onslaught leaves Peter shaken to the core and even physically hurt when a misstep lands him in front of a speeding train. Waking up badly injured in the Netherlands, far from home and allies, Peter nearly loses faith. But with Happy Hogan's help, Tony's loyal friend who flies in to aid him, Peter rebuilds his resolve. He crafts a new suit using Tony's tech, symbolically stepping into his own as both Peter Parker's brains and Spider-Man's bravery combine. He realizes he doesn't have to be the next Iron Man, he just has to be himself. In London, Mysterio launches his endgame, a massive illusion of an elemental to cover up his drone army's attack, intending to kill Peter's friends and any witnesses. Spider-Man arrives in the new red and black suit, soaring on wind glider wings, dismantling drones mid-air. A thrilling battle on Tower Bridge ensues, where Peter finally fully trusts his Peter Tingle, his endearing term for spider sense. Blinded by illusions, he closes his eyes and relies on his sixth sense to fight through a barrage of killer drones in an awe-inspiring display of acrobatics and precision. He reaches Beck and, after a struggle, foils the last drone, causing Beck's own misfired attack to fatally wound him. Beck lies dying as his illusions fall away. In a final, treacherous move, he attempts a point-blank gunshot, but Peter's reflexes and sense are faster. He deflects the gun and webs it as Beck succumbs to his wounds. Beck's final trick, however, has yet to spring. The world believes Spider-Man and Mysterio saved the day together. Peter finally gets his moment with MJ. He awkwardly but sweetly reveals his identity to her on the Tower Bridge amidst the wreckage. She admits she'd been observing him and had pretty much figured it out. They share a relieved, happy kiss, an oasis of normal teen love after so much chaos. Back in New York, all seems well for Peter Parker. Swinging through the city with MJ in his arms, he's on top of the world, until breaking news blares on the giant screens. In a posthumous message, Quentin Beck frames Spider-Man for the drone attack in London and reveals to the world that Spider-Man is Peter Parker. The broadcast is delivered by none other than J. Jonah Jameson, reimagined in this universe as a loud, conspiracy-spewing internet news host. "Spider-Man is a menace," he roars, plastering Peter's face across every screen in Times Square. Peter's heart stops. MJ's shocked eyes meet his as the city around them gasps in unison. Our hero's hard-won anonymity, his safety, is shattered. Spider-Man's greatest secret is out. The revelation turns Peter's life upside down. In Spider-Man: No Way Home, we see him grappling with the immediate fallout. He and MJ flee the angry crowds. Helicopters swarm his home. In the midst of this chaos, Peter's first instinct is to protect Aunt May and his friends. Legal trouble brews, though a sharp lawyer, a certain Matt Murdock, gets his charges dropped. Yet, Peter sees the collateral damage his unmasked identity causes. Paparazzi hound his loved ones, and MIT rejects the college applications of Peter, MJ, and best friend Ned due to the controversy. Believing he's ruined their futures, Peter seeks an extreme solution. He visits Dr. Strange, asking him to cast a spell to make the world forget that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. The initial idea is dangerously broad. Everyone would forget, including MJ and May. At Peter's insistence, Strange modifies the spell on the fly to exclude those closest to him. But Peter's lack of focus causes a mistake. The spell cracks and fizzles. Strange contains it, but the damage is done. Reality has been tampered with. At first, nothing seems amiss, but soon bizarre visitors appear. On a bridge where Peter tries to plead with an MIT administrator to reconsider his friend's rejections, a mechanical tentacle bursts through the concrete. Dr. Octopus, Otto Octavius from another universe, attacks, mistaking this Peter for the one he knows. Peter, now wearing the iron spider armor, fights back in a dazzling display. A reunion the audience thrills at, even as Peter is bewildered by the man's accusations about a machine and the power of the sun. Before anyone gets seriously hurt, another figure arrives. Norman Osborn's Green Goblin, cackling as he hurls a pumpkin bomb. Dr. Strange intervenes just in time, teleporting Peter and Otto away and capturing the Goblin in the process. Back at Strange's sanctum, Peter learns the spell inadvertently drew in people from other universes who know Peter Parker is Spider-Man. They have 5 in custody: Otto Octavius, Norman Osborn, Kurt Connors, the Lizard, Flint Marko, Sandman, and Max Dillon, Electro. All villain Spider-Men fought in other timelines. Strange intends to send them back immediately, but a grim realization dawns on Peter. Many of these individuals were fated to die fighting their Spider-Men. Sending them back would seal their tragic dooms. Peter's innate compassion rebels against that idea. He believes there must be another way, a way to cure or save them. Peter clashes with Strange over this moral dilemma. In a spectacular mirror dimension duel of geometry and physics, Peter actually outsmarts the sorcerer, using geometry to snag him in a web, and steals the mystical box that would send the villains home. With help from MJ and Ned, Peter moves the villains to Happy Hogan's apartment, hoping his scientific know-how can cure their conditions and avert their destinies. For a moment, it works. Using Stark tech, Peter fixes Doc Ock's broken neural inhibitor, restoring Otto's good side. A touching calm hits as Octavius regains clarity, horrified at what he'd done under the arm's influence. Encouraged, Peter nearly cures Electro next, using an energy siphon device. But Norman Osborn, or rather his Goblin persona, betrays them. The Green Goblin emerges within Norman, convincing the other villains that Peter's help is a trick. Chaos erupts. Goblin, cackling with evil glee, turns on Peter with superhuman strength. The apartment complex explodes into an inferno of battling figures and flying debris. In the devastating fight that follows, Goblin overpowers Peter, pounding him through floors with vicious blows. As Spider-Man lies bruised and barely moving, Aunt May, who had been assisting Peter, steps in with extraordinary courage and strikes Goblin with a pipe. attempting to protect her nephew. Goblin's glider swoops in, and a pumpkin bomb detonates. May is knocked to the ground. Peter, dazed, manages to force Goblin to flee with a cure in hand, but the victory is hollow. Racing to Aunt May's side, Peter initially thinks she's okay. She even stands, speaking shakily about how they did the right thing. In a gut-wrenching turn, she collapses, revealing a mortal wound. With her dying breaths, May smiles at Peter through her pain and tells him the iconic words that have defined Spider-Man in every universe. With great power, there must also come great responsibility. Peter's tears mix with the falling ash as he cradles his aunt, the only family he had left, and watches the light fade from her eyes. Peter Parker's world is shattered. All the heroism, all the attempts to do good, seem to have only brought pain to those he loves. While Peter grieves alone amidst the wreckage and rain, MJ and Ned worry for him. Ned, fiddling with Dr. Strange's sling ring that he picked up during the chaos, accidentally opens a portal wishing to see Peter Parker. To their shock, a figure steps through. It's Spider-Man. But not their Peter. This Peter is older, weary-eyed, wearing a familiar suit. In another attempt, they pull yet another Peter Parker through, this one taller with a hesitant smile and haunted eyes. Tobey Maguire's Peter and Andrew Garfield's Peter have entered the scene, the Spider-Men of the Raimi and Amazing universes drawn by the spell. They find the bereft MCU Peter on a rooftop, in the dark, rain-soaked shadow of J. Jonah Jameson's broadcasts, blaming Spider-Man for the day's tragedy. MJ and Ned bring the two alternate Peters to console him. What follows is an emotional meeting of kindred spirits. The young Peter is raw with guilt and rage, declaring he wants to kill Goblin for what happened. That's when the other Parkers share their own stories of loss. Tobey's Peter speaks softly of Uncle Ben's murder and how vengeance didn't bring him peace. Andrew's Peter's voice cracks as he mentions Gwen, the love he couldn't save. They all understand one another's pain on a level no one else could. In this profound moment, Peter realizes he's not alone in his suffering. The legacy of great responsibility has always been forged through loss. United by that truth, the three Spider-Men form a brotherhood across universes. In the school lab, the trio of Peters get to work, brains and jokes flying. It's a heartwarming lull before the storm as they compare notes. Do web shooters come out of your body? And bond over science, loss, and heroism. They concoct cures for each villain, a serum to restore Norman's sanity, an anti-serum for Lizard, a new inhibitor chip for Otto, though he's already cured, a power dampener for Electro, and a healing polymer for Sandman. The final battle takes place at the newly rebuilt Statue of Liberty, now holding Captain America's shield. Under the moonlit sky, the three Spider-Men leap and swing in unison, facing off against the united villains who arrive desperate and dangerous. What ensues is a symphony of Spider-Man teamwork. At first, coordinating three Spider-Men is chaotic. They crash into each other, webs go awry, but soon they find their rhythm. They call each other Peter 1, Peter 2, Peter 3, with charming confusion, and then fluidly web swing in concert. One by one, they cure the villains. Tobey's Peter reaches out to Sandman, handing him the cure that returns Flint Marko to a weary, grateful man. Andrew's Peter, with help from a suddenly reformed Doc Ock, who returns heroically to subdue Electro, removes Max Dillon's excess energy, leaving him powered down and human. Andrew's Peter reassures Max, who was afraid of being invisible again, that he was never alone. A clear-headed Otto helps contain the chaos and shares a quiet, moving reunion with Tobey's Peter, his old friend, saying, "You've grown up," proud of the man Peter became. The Green Goblin, however, remains at large, and the interdimensional cracks overhead widen as Strange struggles to contain the spell. In a flurry of resolution, Ned manages to free Strange from the mirror dimension, and the sorcerer tries to hold the rifts in reality at bay. Dozens of silhouettes of other potential intruders, people who know Spider-Man's identity across the multiverse, threaten to break through. Then Goblin strikes one last time, targeting the spell box that would send everyone home. He explodes it, releasing the contained spell and truly shattering the multiverse barrier. Reality begins ripping apart at the seams above the Statue of Liberty. Amidst this chaos, MJ falls from the scaffolding in a heart-stopping echo of Gwen Stacy's deadly fall. Tom Holland's Peter dives but is knocked aside by Goblin's attack. It's Andrew's Peter who leaps after her. In a beautifully redemptive moment, he catches MJ safely in his arms, landing with tears in his eyes. "Are you okay?" he asks. MJ nods. She's safe. Andrew's Peter almost breaks down. He's saved this Peter's love where he lost his own. MJ notices his emotion. "Are you okay?" she asks softly. He nods through tears. It's a poignant healing of one Spider-Man's deepest wound. On the scaffolding above, only Goblin remains to face Tom's Peter. The other Spider-Men and villains watch from a distance as the two engage in a brutal duel. This time, Peter doesn't hold back. Rage propels him. He pummels Goblin with a ferocity we haven't seen in him before, echoing the darkness that Tobey's Peter once tasted with Venom and Andrew's with the Lizard. Goblin sneers, goading Peter's fury. Finally, Peter overpowers him, and with Goblin dazed on the ground, Peter lifts the Goblin's own spiked glider, ready to deliver a killing blow. At the last moment, Tobey's Peter steps in, quite literally catching the glider. He bars the younger Peter from crossing that line, his eyes full of compassion and understanding. No words are spoken, but the message is clear. This is not who we are. Tom's Peter's face crumples and he relents, stepping back from vengeance. Goblin, still under the Green Goblin persona, takes the opportunity to stab Tobey's Peter in the back. A gasp rings out, but thankfully it's not a fatal wound, more of a really painful annoyance, as Tobey's Peter later assures with a grin. With a cure in hand, Tom's Peter injects Norman, who finally reverts to his human self, confused and remorseful, asking feebly, "What have I done?" The vengeance and violence dissipate, leaving only empathy among the three heroes and their now cured former foes. Yet the multiverse cracks above are worsening. We see spectral shapes of other Spider-Man foes looming, Rhino, Kraven, and more. Doctor Strange can't hold it. Peter knows what he must do. He approaches Strange with a solution that requires the ultimate personal sacrifice. Cast the spell again, properly this time, but make everyone forget who Peter Parker is. It's the only way to close the rifts, since the only reason those people are coming is because they know Peter's identity. It means wiping Peter out of everyone's memory. MJ, Ned, Happy, the other Avengers, all of them will lose all recollection of Peter Parker. It's a near impossible choice, but it's one Peter makes with steady resolve, embodying true responsibility. He shares a tearful final goodbye with his alternate selves, brothers he never knew he had until tonight. They each give him a hug of support before vanishing back to their worlds. Peter then finds MJ and Ned. His heart breaks as he promises MJ he will find her and remind her of his love. They share one last kiss as the spell builds to a flash of golden light. Strange unleashes the magic and a wave of mystical energy sweeps out, sealing the cracks and sending everyone home at the cost of erasing Peter Parker from their minds. In the aftermath, Peter stands in a snowing New York, now truly alone. He visits MJ at the coffee shop where she works, a prepared speech in hand to explain everything. But when he sees how at peace she and Ned seem, accepted to MIT, joking together, he cannot bring himself to drag them back into the dangerous life of knowing him. With quiet heartbreak, he leaves, choosing to love them at a distance, rather than risk their safety. We end Peter's MCU journey on a bittersweet note. Peter, now living in a modest apartment on his own, making a fresh start. He builds a new classic Spider-Man suit with a bright blue and red sheen, handcrafted from simple fabric. No more high-tech gadgets or Iron Man upgrades, just the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man in his purest form. In the final scene, he leaps from his window into the Christmas-lit night, swinging through Rockefeller Center with newfound purpose. He's unknown, unsung, but free to be the hero he needs to be. This Peter Parker has faced alien armies, mourned a mentor, and bridged worlds. He paid the ultimate price in his personal life to uphold that core truth. With great power comes great responsibility, yet even in solitude, Spider-Man endures, a friendly neighborhood guardian for whoever needs him. And as one story ends, another legend spins its web in a completely different way, in a burst of color and sound that takes Spider-Man to new dimensions. Our next story unfolds in bold strokes of animation and hip-hop energy. In this universe, Spider-Man isn't Peter Parker, at least not the one we follow. Meet Miles Morales, a Brooklyn teenager with a creative spark and a loving but complicated family. His father, Jefferson, is a stern police officer, his mother, Rio, a nurturing nurse. Miles is juggling life at a new elite boarding school, feeling the weight of expectations and longing for the comfort of his art and music. He's a good kid searching for his place, idolizing the city's very own Spider-Man who swings overhead, inspiring everyone. One night, Uncle Aaron, Miles's cool, charismatic uncle who encourages his artistic side, takes Miles to an abandoned subway tunnel to paint graffiti. There, in the dim glow of Miles's spray paint masterpiece, fate strikes. A peculiar spider glowing with neon bioelectric energy crawls onto Miles's hand and bites him. Miles yelps, swats the spider, and thinks little of it until the next day. Suddenly he's sticking to ceilings, his thoughts are loud, and his clothes are too tight. At school, he embarrassingly gets his hand stuck in Gwen Stacy's hair. Yes, Gwen Stacy, a new student he just met, who's friendly, if guarded. Mortified and confused, Miles escapes, only to discover he can turn invisible and even emit a shocking venom blast. Miles is stunned. He's becoming something impossible. Another Spider-Man. Scared and excited, Miles retraces his steps to the underground tunnel. There, to his amazement, he stumbles into a secret battle. The real Spider-Man, Peter Parker, blonde and heroic, is fighting a gigantic hulking green goblin amidst roaring machinery. Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin, has built a super collider to access parallel dimensions, hoping to retrieve alternate versions of his lost wife and son. The machine's test throws the fight into chaos. Explosions shake the chamber. Miles watches in awe as Spider-Man saves him from falling debris and senses their kindred. Peter hands Miles a USB drive, a goober kill switch to disable the collider, and promises to teach him how to use it after he shuts this down. But tragedy strikes. The collider's massive energy pulse critically injures Spider-Man. In a harrowing moment, Miles hides and witnesses Kingpin brutally kill Peter Parker right before his eyes. The hero of New York is gone and the city is plunged into mourning. Miles is left terrified, holding the responsibility Spider-Man entrusted to him. That night, distraught and feeling utterly alone, he dons a cheap Spider-Man costume and visits Peter's grave. Through tears, he whispers an apology for not knowing how to be the hero the city needs. It's here that fate intervenes again. Miles is met by none other than Peter Parker, a different Peter Parker, older, worn out, and brown-haired, who literally crash lands into Miles from another dimension. This Peter B. Parker is from an alternate universe, brought into Miles's world by the Collider's blast. He's not the idealized hero Miles knew. He's in his 40s, a bit paunchy, with a sweatpants spider suit. He's midlife crisis Spider-Man, divorced from his Mary Jane, a bit careless with his gut and cynical, but still possessing the heart of a hero beneath the jaded exterior. After a comedic scuffle where Miles accidentally zaps Peter with a venom shock, they realize they need each other. Miles needs a mentor, and Peter B., with reluctant grumbles, needs Miles's help to get home. As they form an unlikely duo, more spider heroes emerge, drawn by the same dimensional mishap. Gwen Stacy reveals herself as a Spider-Woman from another world. The very new student at Miles's school was secretly a web-slinger who lost her best friend, her Peter Parker, in her universe. They soon meet Spider-Man Noir, a black-and-white 1930s detective version of Spider-Man. Penny Parker, a young girl from a futuristic anime-like world with a spider robot. And Spider-Ham, a cartoon pig with Spider-Man powers, adding a dose of loony fun. Each one has their own tragic backstory and unique style, but all share that familiar mantra about power and responsibility, phrased in their own ways. Together they hide out at Aunt May's house. The late Peter's Aunt May, who is hardly surprised to see alternate spider people at her door, and devise a plan, steal data from Fisk's lab to perfect Miles's USB kill switch and shut down the collider before it rips Brooklyn apart. But there's a catch. Once they go home, Miles must be the one to use the device and stay behind to shut it off, because any other spider person would disintegrate if they stayed too long in his dimension. The fate of the city, and now these multiverse strangers he's come to care for, rests on Miles, who still hasn't mastered his powers. Miles, desperate to prove himself, volunteers to accompany Peter B. to break into Alchemax's labs for the data. In a comedic infiltration, they bluff their way through, Miles awkwardly impersonating an intern, and end up in a wild chase with Dr. Olivia Octavius, this universe's Dr. Octopus, a female scientist with a sinister smile and flailing tentacles. With Gwen's timely help, they escape through the woods in a hair-raising sequence, swinging from trees as Doc Ock pursues, until Spider-Ham literally drops an anvil on her, comic relief in the nick of time. Despite these successes, the other Spideys doubt Miles is ready for the final mission. He can't fully control his camouflage or venom strike on command. In an emotional gut punch, Peter B., who actually cares about Miles but fears seeing him hurt, tells Miles to sit out the climax for his own safety. They tie Miles up to a chair at his dorm to keep him from following. A heartbreaking moment as Miles begs for a chance to prove himself. It's Uncle Aaron who inadvertently provides the catalyst for Miles to grow. Miles escapes and runs straight into the Prowler, Kingpin's deadly enforcer with high-tech claws and a purple visor-clad suit. After a terrifying rooftop chase, Miles is knocked down and at Prowler's mercy. The Prowler pins him, blade poised, and Miles pulls off his mask to reveal his face. Uncle Aaron's eyes beneath the Prowler mask go wide with shock. He cannot kill his own nephew. Shaking, Aaron drops his deadly persona. In that crucial moment of hesitation, Kingpin, watching from the shadows, coldly shoots the Prowler for failing to finish the job. Kingpin flees as Aaron dies in Miles's arms, whispering apologies and encouragement to his nephew. Miles's father, Jefferson, arrives on the scene to witness Spider-Man, Miles in costume, over Aaron's body and assumes the worst, that Spider-Man killed his brother. Jefferson, not knowing the truth, calls out for Spider-Man's surrender, forcing Miles to run, grief-stricken and more alone than ever. At his lowest moment, Miles returns to his dorm room. His father comes to the door, devastated, wanting to talk to his estranged son, not knowing he's just on the other side in costume. In a heartfelt speech through the door, Jefferson tells Miles he sees the man his son is growing into, that he just wants him to be safe, and that he loves him. Miles stays silent, tears in his eyes. He can't open the door without revealing his secret and endangering his dad. But this unconditional love gives him strength. After his father leaves, Miles finds clarity. He recalls what the other spider heroes told him, that being Spider-Man is about taking a leap of faith. With renewed resolve, he finally relaxes and discovers control of his powers. Camouflage at will, Venom Blast on command. He's ready. Miles goes to Aunt May's and, with her blessing, takes Peter's old web shooters and suits up, not in Peter's suit, but one he makes his own. In a cathartic act of self-actualization, Miles spray paints the old Spider-Man suit in his graffiti style, jet black with bold red spider emblem and stylish flourishes. Mask on, new suit crackling with energy, Miles Morales leaps off a skyscraper in one of the most iconic shots ever. A leap of faith upside down against the New York skyline. In that moment, Miles isn't falling, he's rising. The final showdown at Fisk's Collider is a kaleidoscope of dimensions colliding. Buildings, cars, and even clouds from multiple universes swirl and mix around the Spider team. The Spider heroes swing into action together, each using their unique abilities. One by one, they hold off Kingpin's henchmen, including a dramatic confrontation where Miles's father Jefferson, arriving as a cop, unknowingly fights back-to-back with his camouflaged son against some thugs, showcasing father and son united without realizing it. As the Collider destabilizes, each Spider hero starts to glitch, their time running out. They must go home. In turn, Miles says goodbye to each of his new friends. Penny tearfully hugs him and offers a robot fist bump. Spider-Noir earnestly vows to solve a Rubik's Cube in his world for him. Spider-Ham gives a hopeful grin and a cartoon hug. Gwen is last. She and Miles share a meaningful look, a spark of connection that promises they'll meet again across universes. Peter B. intends to stay to help Miles shut it down and sacrifice himself. He's grown to care for the kid like a protege, but Miles has finally come into his own. In a touching reversal, Miles uses a judo flip move he learned from Peter earlier to send Peter B. back to his universe against Peter's protestations, assuring him, "You gotta go home, man. Now it's up to Brooklyn's new Spider-Man." Kingpin, furious and desperate, confronts Miles on a collapsing platform. Kingpin's Collider has shown brief ghosts of his wife and child, but they vanished in fear of him once more, and he blames Spider-Man for ruining everything. Yet another Spider-Man to crush. The gargantuan crime lord slams Miles with brute force. Initially, Miles is overpowered by Kingpin's sheer size and strength, much like Peter Parker was in that first fight. Jefferson, down below, sees this new Spider-Man struggling and, in a powerful turn, realizes this menace is actually trying to save everyone. Over his radio, he begins to cheer Spider-Man on. "You can do it, Spider-Man!" Hearing his father's voice giving him support for the first time, Miles finds a second wind. He harnesses his ultimate move, leaping high and delivering a massive venom-charged thwack punch, combined with a burst of his bioelectric power. The blast knocks Kingpin out and shatters the Collider control panel, stopping it for good. In the silence after the explosion, Miles stands triumphant amid the debris. Kingpin and his goons are webbed up for the police. Jefferson arrives on scene and faces Spider-Man. Though he doesn't know this Spider-Man is his son, he sees the hero who saved the city and avenged his brother's death. In a touching moment, father and son, through the mask, come to peace. Jefferson acknowledges Spider-Man as a hero and thanks him. Miles, disguising his voice, replies humbly and even hugs his dad before swinging off into the night. Later, we see Miles confidently taking on the mantle in his world. He introduces himself to his classmates as the new Spider-Man through a heartfelt inner monologue, stating that anyone could wear the mask, but it's how you live that makes you a hero. Over a montage, he swings joyfully through Brooklyn, embraces his dad in a hug as Miles, not Spider-Man, and relaxes in his dorm listening to music, only to be surprised by a brief interdimensional call from Gwen, hinting at future adventures together. Miles Morales' journey showed that heroism has no singular face or universe. He forged his own legend while honoring those who came before. But his adventure was just the beginning. The Spider-Verse had even more in store, and Miles would soon learn that being Spider-Man might mean challenging fate itself. After saving his city, Miles carried on, protecting New York and growing more confident by the day. But in Across the Spider-Verse, the saga expands beyond Miles's world. It starts with Gwen Stacy in her universe, struggling with loneliness and the burden of her secret. In Gwen's world, her best friend Peter Parker tragically died, and her father, a police captain, is hunting Spider-Woman, unaware it's his own daughter. Gwen's life is a somber melody of hiding and longing for understanding. Back in Miles's world, over a year after the Collider incident, Miles is also feeling alone in the mask. He misses his Spider friends, especially Gwen, and grapples with the usual Spider-Man challenge, balancing hero duties with personal life. He's late to classes, sneaking around behind his parents to spider sling, and dreading how to tell them the truth. He wants to be everything: the dutiful son, the great student, the neighborhood's hero. But even with all his powers, he can't be everywhere at once. Enter the Spot, initially a seemingly goofy villain of the week, a man covered in portal-spawning spots. Unbeknownst to Miles, this man was born from the Collider explosion, the same event that gave Miles his powers. The Spot's real name is Dr. Jonathan Owen, a former Alchemax scientist whose life was ruined that night, now blaming Miles for his transformation into a walking hole in reality. In a comically chaotic scuffle at a bodega, Miles treats the Spot lightly, as a joke. But the Spot grows dangerously obsessed, realizing his spots can fuel more power. He leaps into one of his own portals, vowing to become Miles's nemesis and disappearing to absorb energy from other Collider experiments across dimensions, growing stronger far beyond a joke. Meanwhile, Gwen gets an unexpected chance. She's approached by Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 2099, and Jessica Drew, Spider-Woman on a motorcycle. Multiversal spider heroes who lead a high-tech team, safeguarding the web of life between dimensions. They recruit Gwen after a battle with a Renaissance-era vulture variant in her world, and she joins them, hoping to find belonging. But her heart leads her back to Miles's dimension when she learns Spot might threaten him. On a humid night in Brooklyn, Miles is grounded after missing a parent-teacher meeting due to Spider-Man duties when Gwen appears through a portal. Reunited at last, they swing together through the city, rekindling their easy friendship and hinting at deeper feelings. For Miles, no time has passed in his admiration for Gwen, but Gwen is hiding something: her involvement with the Spider Society and Miguel's warnings about interfering. They track the Spot to Earth 50,101, a dazzling Mumbai-Manhattan fusion world called Mumbatan. There, they team up with its local Spider-Man, Pavitr Prabhakar, and meet the anarchic Hobie Brown, Spider-Punk, who tags along with his dimension-tearing guitar. In an explosive confrontation on a rising building, they try to stop Spot from charging himself with that universe's collider. They fail. Spot becomes more monstrous and vanishes on a mission to find Miles's father, having learned Jefferson will soon become a police captain and thus a cannon target. In the aftermath, as the dimension starts collapsing from the damage, Miles heroically saves a falling civilian who happens to be the police captain father of Pavitr's girlfriend. A life saved, a cheer. But Miguel O'Hara is not celebrating. To Miles's shock, Miguel arrives with his strike force and is furious. Saving that captain disrupted a canon event, a pivotal death that was supposed to happen in every Spider-Man story, much like Captain Stacy's or Uncle Ben's. Without it, the fabric of that universe begins to unravel, causing a massive tear that Miguel's team struggles to contain. Miles is taken to Nueva York, the Spider Society's spectacular HQ in the future. Hundreds of Spider people work to repair anomalies. But instead of feeling welcomed as a hero, Miles finds himself at an intervention. Miguel grimly explains the rules of the multiverse. Every Spider-Man story contains certain canon events, like the death of a police captain close to them, that ensure their growth and the stability of their universe. Deviating from these spells, disaster. Miguel himself once tried to take the place of a happy alternate version of himself who died, only to watch that universe collapse. The hammer drops. Miles learns that he is an anomaly. The spider that bit him was from another universe, meaning in his world, Peter Parker died unnaturally early, and Miles became a Spider-Man that wasn't meant to be. Miguel argues that Miles's very existence threatens the canon of the multiverse. What's worse, Miles's father is about to become a police captain, and thus, according to canon, is destined to die very soon as a catalyst in Spider-Man's story. Miguel believes Miles must let that tragedy happen to preserve his universe. Miles sprints, swings, and dodges dozens of his own kind, Spider-Men of unlimited forms, using every trick he's learned. He even outsmarts some, a hilarious moment when he distracts a pursuing Spider-T, Rex with a webbed-up hunk of meat. The scene is both thrilling and poignant. Miles is being hunted by those he thought would understand him most. Miguel, with enhanced abilities and a fierce determination, finally catches Miles on a high-speed train, shooting up into the futuristic sky. He pins Miles down, fangs bared in fury, and nearly subdues him completely. Miles insists he can rewrite his story, that no one should have to lose their father, that he can save his dad and the multiverse. Miguel's own pain makes him inflexible. He can't risk the multiverse for one life. As Miguel's claws inch closer, Miles summons a desperate last surge of power, a massive venom blast that throws Miguel off and shorts out the facility's technology. Seizing the moment, Miles jumps into a teleporter gate to go home. In a whirlwind, he arrives back in his room, or so he believes. Emotionally exhausted, he's ready to finally tell his mother the truth about being Spider-Man, since he nearly lost everything anyway. He reveals to Rio he's Spider-Man, but her reaction is utter confusion. She doesn't know what Spider-Man is. Slowly, Miles realizes the spider that bit him was from Earth 42, a world where there was no Spider-Man. Until it bit Miles on Earth 1610, the machine sent him home based on his DNA, to Earth 42, not his actual universe. In Miles's real world, Earth 1610, Gwen returns and discovers he's not there. Finding his parents and realizing Miles is missing, Gwen commits to setting things right. She reconciles with her dad, who, by quitting his captain job, breaks his own canon cycle, proving that choice can win over fate. Newly inspired, Gwen assembles a team to find Miles. Peter B. and his baby daughter Mayday, Spider-Punk, Pavator, Penny, Spider-Noir, and even the reformed Peter Parker of Miles's universe, the one who died but appears as a spirit guide, in a sense. They vow to help their friend. Meanwhile, on Earth 42, Miles faces a dark reflection. This world has been overrun by crime since its Spider-Man was never created. The Prowler still reigns, and when Miles is captured, he comes face to face with this universe's Miles Morales, who never had powers, never had a Spider-Man's guidance after his father died, and took a criminal path under Uncle Aaron's wing. This Miles, as the Prowler gazes at our Miles, bound and powerless, with a mix of anger and curiosity, our Miles, though chained, remains defiant. He realizes that in this world, his father Jefferson is already dead, a casualty of a city that lacked a Spider-Man. It's a chilling echo of what could happen in his own world if he doesn't escape. Earth 42 Miles seems to resent the life our Miles had. A family still intact, a chance to be a hero. Now hero and villain stare each other down, mirror images separated by choices and chance. Back in Miles's New York, the sky crackles with dimensional energy as the Spot returns, more powerful and sinister than ever, ready to exact his revenge on everything Miles holds dear. The stage is set. Miles is trapped. His father in one universe is in imminent danger, and a vengeful nemesis looms. As the screen cuts to black, the story pauses on a precipice. Cue suspenseful music swelling to a cliffhanger, leaving our hero and his friends, the entire Spider-Verse, on the brink of a decisive confrontation. In this latest chapter, Miles Morales learns that being Spider-Man is not just about saving the day, but about defying expectations and writing your own story. Across the Spider-Verse ends with fate hanging in the balance, reminding us that the Spider-Man story is ever evolving, and the next leap of faith is yet to come. Through the Spider-Verse saga, we witness on a grand scale what every Spider-Man tale has shown in its own way, that heroism is a choice, and that family, whether by blood or by bond, is at the heart of the journey. While Miles's story continues to unfold, another unique chapter of Spider-Man lore has played out in a different medium entirely, proving that the web of great power and great responsibility stretches into the world of video games. Our final journey takes us into the world of video games, a universe rendered in stunning detail by Insomniac Games, where we swing not through comic panels or film reels, but through the player's own hands. In this reality, Peter Parker is a bit older and well into his career as Spider-Man. It's been 8 years since his fateful spider bite. Marvel's Spider-Man 2018 introduces Peter at 23, a veteran hero confident in his abilities. He's already put away many classic foes. We hear a phone call where he jokes about just webbing up Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin, after a massive brawl. Peter balances hero life with work as a lab assistant for his mentor, Dr. Otto Octavius, a brilliant scientist striving to create advanced prosthetic limbs. Peter's also recently broken up with Mary Jane Watson, now a daring Daily Bugle reporter, but they still care deeply for each other. Aunt May is alive and well, running a charitable shelter called FEAST. Life seems manageable, even if Peter's always one step from missing rent. The story ignites when a new threat emerges in Manhattan. Martin Lee, a respected philanthropist who secretly leads a gang called the Inner Demons. Lee transforms into the sinister Mr. Negative, possessing the power to unleash dark energy and corrupt people's minds, all part of a vendetta against Mayor Norman Osborn. Martin Lee's attacks, including a devastating bombing at City Hall, claim many lives, among them the heroic NYPD officer Jefferson Davis, Miles Morales' father. This tragedy introduces Miles Morales into this world, a grieving teenager whom Peter and Aunt May at FEAST take under their wing. As Spider-Man, the player, as Peter, unravels a complex web of villainy. While investigating Martin Lee, Peter is also helping Otto Octavius in the lab. We see Otto as a kind of father figure to Peter, brilliant, compassionate, but increasingly obsessed with his work and under pressure from Oscorp's funding cut. Peter encourages him to keep trying to better the world with his inventions. In these heartfelt exchanges, the seeds of both great hope and looming tragedy are planted. Mr. Negative eventually launches an all-out assault on the city, releasing a deadly pathogen called Devil's Breath, a bioweapon engineered by Oscorp. Chaos erupts as citizens fall ill in an epidemic. During this crisis, Otto Octavius's bitterness towards his former friend Norman Osborn reaches a breaking point. In a dark turn, Otto perfects his mechanical arms, but the neural interface chips warp his mind, amplifying his hatred. He becomes Dr. Octopus, assembling a new Sinister Six by freeing villains Spider-Man had put away: Electro, Vulture, Rhino, Scorpion, and Mr. Negative himself. In one dramatic sequence, the Sinister Six ambushes Spider-Man on a rooftop. Peter fights valiantly but is overwhelmed, beaten brutally by Otto and his new allies. Dr. Octopus delivers a personal, heartbreaking blow. With cold venom, he reveals he knows Peter's identity, discovered from their time working together, and proclaims their friendship a lie. Broken and injured, Peter watches in anguish as Otto unleashes Devil's Breath in the heart of Manhattan, plunging the city into chaos and Norman Osborn into panic. Despite injuries, Peter refuses to surrender. Mary Jane and Miles step up in their own ways. MJ courageously infiltrates Oscorp to secure the antidote blueprint, and Miles helps however he can on the streets. Even before getting powers, he's brave and resourceful. After a harrowing stealth mission via MJ and a desperate search by Peter to secure an anti-serum, the stage is set for the final confrontation atop Oscorp Tower in a raging thunderstorm. It's Spider-Man versus Dr. Octopus in a battle as emotional as it is explosive. High above the city, clinging to the side of the skyscraper, they clash. Otto wielding 4 metal arms with ferocious speed, and Peter fighting through pain and tears. Otto raves about exposing Norman's crimes and making him pay, while Peter pleads for Otto to see reason. This isn't you, think of the lives at stake. In a visually stunning moment, lightning flashes illuminating their silhouettes as they exchange blows. Spider-Man is eventually triumphant, tearing the neural interface off Otto's neck and disabling the arms. Both crash onto the rooftop, rain pouring down. Then comes the gut-wrenching finale. With Doc Ock defeated, Peter retrieves the only vial of Devil's Breath antidote. But down below, the plague ravages the city, including Aunt May, who has been infected and is dying. Peter is faced with an impossible choice: use the single dose to save May right now, or let doctors try to replicate it for the masses, which will come too late for her. In the hospital, Peter tearfully approaches Aunt May's bed. She's gasping, weak but lucid. In a heartbreaking reveal, Aunt May gently tells Peter she knew he was Spider-Man for a while and that she's proud of him. Through sobs, Peter moves to apply the cure to her. He can't lose her, but May stops him with a final loving look. With a hero's heart, Peter chooses the greater good. He steps back and watches, anguished, as Aunt May slips away, his hand in hers, knowing his choice will save thousands, but not the woman who raised him. Her death hits Peter hard, but it also galvanizes him, crystallizing the selflessness at Spider-Man's core. The city is eventually cured thanks to his sacrifice. In the aftermath, Peter and Mary Jane rekindle their relationship, drawn even closer by the trials they endured. Meanwhile, at Aunt May's funeral, we see Miles reveal to Peter that he has developed spider powers, having been bitten by a second spider that escaped during the chaos. In a touching and humorous scene in Peter's apartment, Miles clumsily demonstrates a wall crawl, prompting Peter to playfully also stick to the ceiling, saying, "It's cool, me too." Mentor and protege share a relieved smile. Fast forward a bit, Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales 2020 continues this story in winter. Peter entrusts Miles to watch over New York as he leaves the country with MJ for a reporting assignment. Now it's Miles's turn to step into the spotlight. Still learning but determined, 17-year-old Miles swings through a snowy Harlem, eager to prove himself as the new Spider-Man on the block. He's got the powers, enhanced by bioelectric venom blasts and camouflaging ability unique to him. but he's still figuring out how to fill Peter's shoes. A new threat rises to challenge him. The mega-corporation Roxxon has introduced a dangerous energy source called Nuform, and a high-tech criminal army called the Underground, led by the mysterious Tinkerer, is waging war against Roxxon. Miles is shocked to discover that behind the Tinkerer's mask is Finn Mason, his best friend from childhood. Finn is seeking revenge on Roxxon for causing her brother's death via Nuform's poisoning. Their close friendship makes the conflict deeply personal. Miles wants to save his friend from a destructive path. Finn is too consumed by grief to stop her plan to demolish Roxxon Plaza, even if it might level Harlem. In a heartfelt parallel to Peter's journey, Miles faces his own uncle in the fray, Aaron Davis, who in this universe is the Prowler, a thief working reluctantly for Roxxon. Aaron, knowing the cost of this life, tries to keep Miles out of danger, even betraying him once to Roxxon to protect him. But Miles accepts his responsibility, even if it means defying family to do what's right. The climax sees Spider-Man Miles battling Finn atop the Roxxon building as her massive reactor goes critical. The truth comes out. Anger and sorrow clash as venom blasts and tech gauntlets collide. When Miles finally makes Finn see the devastating cost of her revenge, it's almost too late. The reactor is melting down, about to annihilate the neighborhood. In a heroic act, Miles absorbs the brunt of the energy into his own body, containing the impending explosion. It's far more energy than he's ever held. It crackles around him, lethal and unstable. Knowing he's about to detonate, Miles prepares to sacrifice himself by blasting it upward, but doing so will likely kill him. In a redeeming moment, Finn understands and helps him. She uses her jet boots to carry Miles high into the sky. Miles pleads with her to let go, but she refuses until they're at a safe distance above the city. Miles unleashes the energy in a massive blast, a sphere of light above Harlem. The city is saved. But the cost, the blast consumes Finn, who vanishes in the glow, having traded her life to save Miles and the neighborhood she loved. Miles survives the fall back to Earth, caught by the last of his webbing and the arms of thankful civilians, who now see clearly that the new Spider-Man is here for them. In the aftermath, Miles's identity remains secret except to those closest to him, but he steps fully out of Peter's shadow. Even J. Jonah Jameson begrudgingly acknowledges this Brooklyn Spider-Man might be all right. Peter returns, proud of his protege. The two Spider-Men swing through the city as partners, a dynamic duo of webs and wisecracks. Finally, Marvel's Spider-Man 2, 2023, brings the dual saga of Peter and Miles to a crescendo. Some time has passed. Peter, now in his late 20s, is mentoring Miles fully, and they operate as a seamless team, swapping quips and coordinating takedowns of bad guys together. But new challenges test them both. A ferocious new foe, Kraven the Hunter, arrives in New York seeking the ultimate prey. His arrival turns the city into a hunting ground. Familiar villains like the Lizard, Dr. Kurt Connors, are chased out of hiding, and the Spider-Men find themselves fighting on multiple fronts to protect even some of their old enemies from slaughter, as well as guarding civilians caught in the crossfire. Amidst this chaos, Peter is reunited with his best friend, Harry Osborn, miraculously cured of a genetic disease by a mysterious black symbiote substance that Norman had secretly kept. Peter and Harry rekindle their brotherly bond, planning to use Harry's second chance to better the city together. When Kraven's hunt pushes Peter to the brink, that very same alien symbiote finds its way to Peter, in a callback to his encounter in Spider-Man 3. It bonds with him, giving him enhanced strength and aggression. We watch as Peter slowly succumbs to its anger-amplifying influence. His moves become more brutal, his demeanor more brooding. He snaps in rage at Miles and even MJ as the symbiote's dark tendrils wrap around his heart. The game mirrors the themes of Spider-Man 3, but with even higher stakes. As players, we feel the thrill of the power and the alarm of its corruption. The emotional peak hits when the symbiote leaves Peter and bonds with Harry, turning Harry into Venom, a monstrous fusion of alien and best friend, intent on eliminating weakness, which to Venom means anyone in Peter's life. Venom unleashes chaos, and even Kraven falls victim to the creature's fury. It's now Peter and Miles together versus an enemy who knows Peter's heart intimately and targets everyone he loves. In the final battle, Peter faces the nightmare of possibly losing his best friend again, or even having to kill him to stop the alien horror. But with Miles's unwavering support, they manage to subdue Venom without ending Harry. Instead, they free Harry from the symbiote at great personal cost. In a towering, climactic fight, Miles and Peter battle the towering berserk symbiote itself, using fire and sonic blasts to finally destroy it and end its threat for good. The two Spider-Men save the day together, exemplifying how far a hero's impact can spread when they inspire others. The dust settles on a changed status quo. Harry is alive but in a coma, and Norman Osborn's simmering grief and anger hint at darker things to come. The Green Goblin's shadow still looms for this universe's future. But for now, the city is safe. Peter, weary from so much loss and seeing Miles truly come into his own, makes a pivotal life decision. He chooses to hang up the mask, at least for now. He realizes that, like Aunt May taught him, there are many ways to help people. He decides to focus on rebuilding his personal life, getting his Aunt May Foundation off the ground to help those in need, and finally planning a future with MJ, while trusting Miles to watch over the city as its primary Spider-Man. In a heartfelt exchange atop a building they've swung from countless times, Peter tells Miles, "You've got this, Spider-Man," officially passing the torch. Miles stands tall, embracing the responsibility fully, knowing Peter is still just a call away if needed. As Peter steps back, we see Miles soar off into the skyline, confident and ready to protect New York on his own terms. The 2-hour video game saga ends with Peter finding balance and purpose beyond the mask, Miles shining as the city's champion, and both heroes knowing that Spider-Man, as an ideal, is bigger than any one person. In the Insomniac universe, we witnessed something truly special, a Spider-Man who mentored his successor in his own lifetime. It's a stirring affirmation that the Spider-Man ideal will always live on. Adaptable, shareable, and unyielding, as long as good people are willing to stand up and protect others. The story of Spider-Man is a mosaic of heroism and heart. Different young people, different worlds, one symbol that ties them all together. Each faced their own trials, the loss of loved ones, the temptations of power, the weight of expectation. Each rose after every fall. They've shown us that being a hero isn't about the suit or the name, but the choices one makes.